Hello everyone. In this video we are going to start chapter 4, which is over nonverbal communication. So there's a lot to this chapter. This is, I believe, maybe the second longest chapter of the course. So we will be going over each and every one of these things that you see. But I'm not going to touch on it now, but we'll get to that before we're done with the chapter. So, first things first, what is nonverbal communication? So it can be intentional, it can be unintentional. You're not using words that are, through via sign language or just written. There's so many things that count as nonverbal communication, whether it's how you stand, how you dress, how you may shake hands with someone, or whether you decide to shake hands at all. So all of these things are nonverbal communication. So, and when it says, speaking of non-linguistic, so there's not like a language for these things. So they are indicators of maybe emotions or level of relationship. But if someone is, say, yawning, this doesn't mean that I'm yawning because I am bored, or yawning because I'm tired, or yawning because I took some cold medicine. It could be a lot of different things. So, which goes to how it can be arbitrary and ambiguous. So there's no urban dictionary for this is what it means when someone does this particular nonverbal communication, because it can vary based on the person, time of day, relationship, culture, so many things. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that nonverbal communication can be misinterpreted. So someone could take something, as an offense when it was maybe an accident. So nonverbal communication also occurs through a lot of different channels. So whether it be maybe what you wear, your body type, whether you decide to touch someone, hug someone, give them a pat on the back, things about your face, not just how you look, but maybe an expression that you make, or maybe just your age. So things can be told about you just by a glimpse at your face. Some of your vocal cues, so maybe how quickly you speak, how loudly you speak. All of these things are ways or channels of nonverbal communication. So with nonverbal communication, some of it is learned. You see older people do it, or people that you look up to, or just people in your environment. They may speak a certain way, gesture a certain way, and you learn those things. Now, and some of it is just innate. It's just being a human causes you to do certain things certain ways, like expressing sadness through crying. That's not something that you have to be taught. No one teaches you how to cry. No one teaches you to smile. It happens naturally. So regardless, anywhere in the world, if people are laughing, that's not a war cry. That's not an expression of whatever. It just means they're laughing, something's humorous. So anyway, so it's it can be something that you have just because you're human, or things maybe like rolling your eyes, or some type of gesture to indicate that you're aggravated. So that's something that can be learned. Now, contextual. Now it depends on where you are, who are you talking to, whether something may be appropriate, inappropriate, maybe communicate a different message. So, for example, PDA, public displays of affection. So you could do the same display of affection at home, behind closed doors, whatever, and it could be fine. But maybe if you're out in public, then that in that situation, maybe like, oh no, that's not for this venue. Also, your nonverbal communication can be culturally bound. So maybe where you're from, some particular region of the country, the state, wherever, maybe speaking in a low volume is how you maybe show respect to someone, or maybe speaking in a high volume doesn't necessarily mean disrespect. It just means, hey, this is a good conversation. Or maybe in some cultures they're more touchy-feely, where lots of hugs, lots of kisses, and that could be just part of that culture. And also, nonverbal communication can help define a relationship or show what level this relationship is at. So it'd be kind of like maybe going for a hug and the person wants to give a handshake. Maybe they just don't feel like they're that close to you, so therefore no, we're not at hug level yet. Maybe it's just handshake level. So it can or show that this person is close because of the hug, or because of maybe how animated a person is when they're talking versus talking to someone else, and it's like, it doesn't seem like you're really into the conversation because of maybe your posture. So moving on. Continuous. You're always going to be communicating non-verbally. So you can just be still. You could be asleep, and still there's something that can be gained just by seeing maybe posture, maybe what someone wears while they're sleeping, or just the fact that they can fall asleep in particular locations. Maybe that might be an indication of some type of sleep disorder, or just an example of maybe tiredness. You're so tired you fall asleep anywhere because long, hard day. So what you wear, how close you stand to someone, all of that is nonverbal communication. So it's pretty difficult to not give away information, or kind of like a picture's worth 1,000 words. So also your nonverbal carries more of your emotional state. So meaning that you can say words, but your nonverbal can you can say you're happy, but if your nonverbal says that doesn't line up with that, then people think, okay, maybe they're not as happy as they say they are, which goes into it being more powerful. So nonverbal communication is believed more than verbal communication. So if and also it can, kind of like what I said, if someone maybe someone is expressing, hey, I'm very angry, but they have like a big smile on their face, they look kind of jovial, not tense or anything, but they say that they're angry, then it's like, are you really angry? So the nonverbal is believed more. Also, there are certain things that nonverbal and that power can help, say, console someone. Now, it doesn't mean, if someone's crying and you want to console them, maybe there's some words that you can say, but sometimes it's just a hug that is can give a much richer example of, hey, I'm here for you, I care for you, maybe than actually just saying those words, hey, I'm here, I care, but the hug says it, just says it way better. So there are some functions of nonverbal communication, how they can complement, accentuate, contradict, regulate, repeat, and substitute, and we will go into those right now. So in complementing, so your nonverbal can go along with whatever it is that you're saying. So if you're saying, going for a job interview, but you're wearing maybe a clown outfit for being some type of managerial position, some business managerial position. So that clown outfit does not complement the seriousness of your resume. So, but now say, a suit or professional attire that complements that, hey, I'm here for business, I'm trying to get this job, it goes along with it. So also it can accentuate. So for example, pauses when you speak. So pausing to say, hey, this is something you need to listen to. So that'd be a good example of, okay, you're not saying, it's not just you saying, hey, this is something you need to listen to, but that pause just, okay, gives time for people to kind of just hear, focus in on what it is that you're about to say. Also, for example, hugging someone. So if you're saying, hey, I really missed you, and you give the person a hug, then that hug accentuates what you're saying. So it goes along with it, pairs well with that message. So also, your nonverbal can contradict what you're saying. I think I gave an example a few minutes ago, say someone being angry, but their nonverbal says that they're not angry, then yes, that is contradicting the person stating or whatever that, hey, I'm really mad at you. So, and it can also repeat. So if you're wanting to show that, sorry, not repeat, regulate. So if someone wants you to say stop talking or show interest to continue speaking, they may, if they want to show interest, they may lean in, they may nod their head and say yes and give you direct eye contact. So it's kind of saying, okay, I'm listening, please, give me more information. But if they're, just looking off to the side, maybe checking their phone a lot or whatever, then yeah, that may be just saying, okay, not interested. Or it could be even as obvious as, say, someone's trying to talk to you, you're on the phone, and he's like, you point to like, hey, I'm on, on the phone, so to help let them understand that, hey, now's not a good time to talk. So anyway, also nonverbal can repeat what you're saying. So it can go along with, say, okay, I want 2 orders of, of fries. So sticking up the 2 fingers just helps to repeat what you're saying. And finally, substitute. So it could be as simple as someone asking, do you like this hat? And you just, shaking your head no. That's a substitution for verbal communication. Now, your posture, or just things that you do with your body. So one of those being posture. So how you carry your body, it can let people know whether you're open to talking to people or whether you're closed off. So an open posture, kind of having your torso exposed, can show that you're friendly, that you're comfortable. So, but a closed posture may show that, kind of like having your arms folded, leaning over, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying not go as far as the fetal position, but shows that you may feel threatened or apprehensive or have some type of fear. So, or maybe just unfriendly. So, moving on to gestures. So, they can, there's emblems, illustrators, effects which show emotion, regulators can affect the conversation, and adapters. And we will go into more of these right now. So with emblems, so it can just be like a sign, like shrugging your shoulders. So in our culture, someone shrugs their shoulders, that means I don't know, or maybe someone sticking up the word, the finger, okay. So this just means, okay, thumbs up, that type of thing. Now, for illustrators, now this is another one kind of like similar to repeating, where you're just, they're closely linked to what's being said, kind of like, first point, second point, wrap it up. So it could just be things that go along with whatever you're saying. Now, affect displays, so they can show an emotion. So something that's kind of common is that maybe people may fidget, maybe they may bounce their leg up and down, or just like tap and rattle and just mess with something. That's a way of showing that, you know, there's some apprehensiveness, some nervousness. So yeah, that kind of those are some of the affect displays. And regulators. So this is another one where you're showing, say, that I'm, you know, that maybe you're trying to speak or trying to have someone not speak, or it could be maybe calling on someone to speak or to approach you. So it could be any of those things. So like if you're about to speak, maybe leaning forward, or, you know, like raising your hand, or if you're, you know, picking on people, like, okay, that person, that nonverbal thing just says, you know, even if you don't have words to go with it, it lets you know, okay, of the people who were raised, so lets them know that, okay, that's the person that, you know, you want to speak with, or that you want to ask a question. See, was there anything else that I mentioned? Yeah, and adapters. So sometimes if you have some type of need, adapters kind of help represent that. So one example I like to think of with this is that maybe you have to use the bathroom. You know, so little kids, they do like little pee-pee dance. So it's just something that, okay, they have a need, and this nonverbal thing kind of shows that, hey, you know, they have to go. Or maybe adjusting your tie, feeling a little bit stressed. For some reason, your throat may feel constricted or something, like, oh, let me you know, get myself some kind of relief. So these are some culturally specific gestures, such as the benediction gesture. You may have seen, like, say, the Pope do this. It's meant as like kind of a blessing. Crossed fingers. So here in the U.S., that means good luck. But in China, it's a symbol for 10. In Russia, it can be considered a rude gesture. The fist bump or dap. I think it's funny that the textbook is trying to include that. Yeah, it can be used, you know, as a greeting, as a goodbye. Maybe it's say, hey, good job. All those things. The namaste gesture, that's a customary greeting amongst people in South and Southeast Asian countries. So it can be for a meeting and for a farewell. Now, for touch, yes, how you touch, you know, those different circumstances can communicate different messages. So haptics is the study of touch behavior, and some of the things that it considers is the relational function. So it indicates if it's consistent with a certain type of relationship. Also, it can also go into more than one type. So it has some carryover. So it doesn't just stay exclusive into one particular type of relationship or meaning. So meaning it can also have, and the meaning is also affected by purpose and intent. So some of the 5 touch categories are functional, social, friendship, love, and sexual arousal. So with the functional or slash professional, so this is some type of touch that is absolutely necessary to complete some type of task. So if, say, a doctor or nurse or whatever is trying to check your blood pressure, they've got their stethoscope, they put the arm pressure cuff on you, they you know, they're listening for your pulse. So it's a necessary part of that process. Maybe going into the airport or into certain government buildings, the pat down. So maybe that may be necessary for you know, that's a part of the process in order to get into, you know, do a certain part of security. Next, you have just the social or the polite touching. So that could be just a handshake, or it could be a fist bump. It could be yeah, putting your hand on someone's back. As you like trying to help them, you know, get to wherever it is that they're going. So it's not it's not as say intimate as something that you do with a close friend, but it does show some type of openness and being social, or just being the type of politeness that you would show to a stranger. Now for the friendship warmth category, yeah, putting your arm around someone's shoulder. So you wouldn't do that just normally with a stranger. So that would show some level of closeness. Let's see, yeah, pat on the back, maybe I don't know, a little peck on the cheek, whatever. That could be showed a certain level of warmth. Now for the love and intimacy category, so yeah, maybe putting your arms around somebody's waist. That may be more for that that level of relationship. And sexual arousal, you guys can you guys can read that, and there you go. So now continuing with touch, yeah, there can be positives and negatives. So it can show things such as support, appreciation, so which are positive things. Now negative emotions such as anger, dissatisfaction, yeah, even if it's just maybe how somebody hands you something. So maybe they don't they kind of like shove it upon you rather than gently handing you something. It can just be an example of a conveying a negative emotion. Also, it can be as play. So sometimes, depending on the relationship, someone may be mad, but you're just not taking them seriously. Like, oh, maybe like I don't know, tickling somebody that's like, no, I'm really mad, don't tickle me right now. It could be that type of thing, just to kind of loosen them up. So play fighting, so that's if you've ever not really tried to, guys do this, I don't think girls do, but it's not meant to hurt anybody, it's just playing around. So also it can touch can be part of seeking a certain response, such as compliance, maybe like or to get attention. So for example, if you say tap somebody on the shoulder to, excuse me, I'd like to ask you a question, it's just to get the attention so you can ask this question of a particular person. Now touch can be ritualistic, meaning that it's just part of, this is like step 1, 2, 3, 4 of whatever. So kind of like at weddings, when you may kiss the bride, that's kind of like, say, part of the ritual. So in conversations, maybe indicating someone's turn to speak, it may be just a nudge, or maybe like maybe putting your hands on someone's shoulder, or whatever. Also getting in and out of interactions, so saying hello, there may be a hug or a handshake or whatever, but also a goodbye hug. I'm sure you've heard that term before. So that's kind of like showing that, hey, we're done, we're leaving, this is reaching a conclusion. And then there's the ceremonial function. So you've probably seen maybe some little league games, young kids playing basketball or some other sport, where at the end of the game they line up, and what do? They shake hands. So it's not saying that, okay, I really feel that you're worth that I gotta shake your hand because of how well you played. No, it's just part of the whole good sportsmanship thing, and it's part of the that ceremony. And then more meanings of touch, the function. So it's kind of similar to the functional / professional category, where this touch needs to happen in order for some type of objective to be met. So for example, if you go to a barber or a beautician, there's it's almost impossible for you to go to one of these people and they not touch your hair. They're not touch your scalp, hair, whatever. It's part of the job. In order to do a decent job, they're going to have to get close to your hair, your scalp, whatever. Or maybe just helping someone out of the chair, or a pat, or airport pat down. So these things are just part of, if you're, say, an orderly, say, helping someone, in a nursing home get up, that's part of it, helping them, whether putting your arms under their shoulders or whatever. So the airport pat down, yeah, it literally has the name pat in the action. So yeah, that's a part of that functional slash is similar to that functional professional category. Now there can be hybrids. So there can be the combines two or more types of touch. So kind of like the handshake and putting the arm on the shoulder. So it's professional, but also showing a little bit more level of compassion. And then there's the accidental. So something may, it's not a sign of, say, negativity, but maybe, bumping into someone, in some instances, maybe it was meant, with the intent of just being mean sometimes, but there's also that accidental category. Or stepping on someone's foot. Doesn't mean that it's an intentional foot stump, but it is, touching that person, not in a harmful way, but it can just be, hey, I wasn't paying attention, or my mind was on something else. So anyway, these are those categories of touch. Going on to the face, let's see how we're doing on time. Yeah, I think we're going to stop here for now and continue the rest of this later on. Hope you guys are doing well. Take care.